What is good, everyone? Charles from TEAMCOG coming at you guys here with a new post-commentary duel video. We have Monarchs on the left versus Dinosaurs on the right. This was taken from my locals that I went to this recent weekend. Fun fact, guys, I forgot all my decks when I went to this, so I ended up having to play Zodiac.handtrap.deck. And I ended up going 2-2. I thought I was going to do a video on it, but then I decided not to because of just the editing and everything. What I wanted to do was not going to work. But we're going to see Monarchs fire off here with what I believe is a Tenacity, revealing to have the Aether in hand. So, funny story here, this Monarch player ended up taking second at our locals, the same weekend that Lithium ended up taking second at the Remote Duel Invitational in Europe. And that, to me, is just coincidence? I think not. But, anyway, guys, if you guys enjoy this video, please remember at the very end to give us a like and a comment and a subscribe. And only like and subscribe if you truly enjoy the content. And for the most part, guys, please remember to hit that join button down below to join our crusade. And remember also, guys, check out the website down below to get your Breeze Before Einstadt's playmat, which we are having another playmat drop coming out this this October. And it should be, I've got my time's going by so fast, guys. Halloween, we should have a new playmat be dropping, so keep your eyes out for that. It's going along with the World Legacy lore. But for the most part, we're going to see Monarch kind of thinking about what to add. Don't know, Dinosaurs kind of can out Monarchs pretty well because they don't really go into the extra deck. The deck just has Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, which is going to completely out like almost an entire Monarch board. But we're going to see Domain be activated. We're going to see the normal summon of Idea, which is one of the most fragile points of the entire combo, but it's not going to meet any sort of interaction from the Dino player. Idea is going to summon out Ideos Mios, and then we're going to see the additional normal summon of Ideos activate. So I don't know if he'll summon out the Aether that he revealed, or if he has something else in his hand. I'm not entirely sure. But we're going to see Vanity's Fiend touchdown, locking out the opponent from special summoning, which practically means that the way that the deck can out the domain lock with the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is completely shut down. I actually do not believe Dinos have a main deck way to out Vanity's Fiend outside of like Infinite Impermanence, to be honest with you. I was just thinking of Dogoron, but Dogoron's not entirely the best option. So it looks like we're going to just see a set pass from the Dino player. Domain and Vanity's Fiend giving us PTSD from the times when Monarch was top tier. And with Pantheism being back now in the deck, practically at full power, it's a pretty strong deck to reckon with. It's super consistent in what it does, and it's just quite crazy in all reality what it does. He's going to try to fire off Aether, and then he's going to remember, the Dino player is going to remind him that Fiend is out there, so he can't fire off the Aether. Vanity's Fiend stops both players from special summoning. There is Vanity's Ruler, which prohibits, just the opponent from special summoning, which is pretty good. But yeah, guys, so what do you guys think about the quality of this video? I got a new microphone, trying to improve stuff constantly, so let me know down below if the audio is fine. I will listen to it, of course, before I upload it, so you just have to let me know. But we're going to see another set and pass. We're going to see the Monarchs Erupt activated just to add some sprinkle of salt to the wound here. Monarchs Erupt is just practically skill drain, of course, so you guys probably know this from the days of True Draco. Swinging in with the Vanity's Fiend, popping a Wind Statue, I believe, and 28 going directly to the face. I don't believe Dino can survive through this, to be honest with you. I don't think they have an out, especially since Vanity's Fiend and Domain is out. His only hope is to get rid of the Vanity's Fiend, and then maybe he could get out Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, which could actually probably do it, to be honest with you. It just depends on what he has. But he's going to attempt to special summon the Pranker Tops, but we're gonna remind him that he thought that the Erupt turned off the Vanity's Fiend, but it just says that as long as you control Tribute Summon Monster, negate all other effects, etc., except that of Tribute Summon Monster. So, little misread there, but that's okay. We're going to see double D's get put down, Digonic Diagram, popping the baby to do something. I don't know exactly what he's trying to dig and do, but I guess we'll find out. He's grabbing Lithosasm, which doesn't really do anything. The Dino player is a fight to the end type of guy. He knows he has an out for the Vanity's Ruler, or excuse me, the Vanity's Fiend. So he's just kind of got to dig in there to it. But now not only facing down a skill drain and a domain, it's not looking too good for the Dino player. You can tell Extinction is on its way, delivered by the Kings, the Monarchs. But we're going to probably see a simple Vanity's Fiends whack into the set, and then Aether pushing for 28 to the face to hopefully do it for a third time, I believe, in the video, which is pretty good, it seems. And yep, so we're gonna wrap it up here and jump on into the next video, or not the next video, the next game. We're gonna see Dino's probably gonna go first, would be my bet. They can't risk that Vanity's Fiend touching down again. It'd be too strong against them, so my bet is we'll probably end up seeing... I don't even think Logia, or no, excuse me, Dolka is good in this matchup. I believe Logia is probably the best option, because Logia, he can at least, at the bare minimum, stop a normal summon, which is extremely crucial. But we're going to see the Argosaur just, you know, like this card is straight busted. Dinosaurs did not need this card. Konami, what were you thinking, man? Giving Dinos like a card like this. But we're going to see the miscellaneous being pitched to summon the Argosaur to pop Baby to get double evolution pill, and then Baby's going to trigger to summon out Oviraptor. Oviraptor's effect is going to activate, and no sort of interruption from the Monarch player. You could very well see Lost World turns off like Infinite Impermanence, and I believe Infinite Impermanence is probably one of the best side deck, or the best main deck hand trap currently. You just don't want to lose to triple tactical talents. But Lithium actually in his video, and my man, the Monarch player Caleb here, actually agrees. The format is to the point to where hand traps don't do enough. Unless you play like 20 plus hand traps, you're not going to do anything. So it's almost worth just trying to play straight gas. And I can kind of vouch for that. I believe that gas is the way that I believe you need to go in order to probably play this format. You know, Dragon Link's ripping cards from your hand, Infernoble's ripping cards from your hand, the Whelp block. I mean, hindsight, you know, Monarch practically does that too, if you really think about it. Monarch can rip 2 cards from your hand with Mega Thestalos and Erebus, and then they have the Domain, which locks you from the extra deck. So technically speaking, Domain Monarchs can do the same thing Dragon Link does. So we'll just, maybe not on a consistent level, but close enough, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to see a banishing of 2 to summon out the Ultimate Conductor, summoning out that Giant Rex, overlaying for... Oh, look, he almost went for Logia there. Never mind, there we go. He went for Logia. I get those two mixed up all the time. So he was going to go for Dolka, but he decided to go for Logia, which is probably the best bet. But we're going to see a double evolution pill fire off here. My guess is probably going to grab him a Quatless, maybe? Or maybe he doesn't play Quatless. Yes, he does. So Quatless is going to touch down. So right now we have a Solemn Judgment on legs, a Book of Moon, and I believe a Omni Negate with the Quatless. Quote me if don't quote me. I could be wrong. It could just be a Spell and Trap Negate, but we're going to see the Monarch player do his best and draw for turn. That Logia is definitely going to cause a problem because Logia negates normal summons, which is it's a walking Solemn Judgment, so that's going to be problematic for him. However, giving that token allows him to practically smack down a Vanity's Fiend or a Vanity's Ruler. So there we go. We're going to see the tribute summon of of Majesty's Fiend, but the normal summon is going to be negated by Logia. Smart move on his place, because if that Majesty's Fiend touched down, it would be over. But again, guys, halfway through the video, remember, if you guys want to get your awesome Crusadia playmat, check out down in the link down below to the TEAMCOG web store, where you guys can get the Breeze Before Einsatz and the new mat that's going to drop October 31st. I'm super excited to get it, but we're going to go off into the next game. So wrapping it up here, this is game 3, 1-1 Monarchs and Dinosaurs, and I believe Monarchs are going to go first again, and sadly to say, you know, if Monarchs hard open that Vanity's Fiend, it's going to be kind of rough for Dinos to play through it, but we're going to see Pantheism firing off, sending Stormforth and Pantheism being just super strong. I think I haven't done like a deck discussion like I used to do called The Sidelines, and I talked about Spiral when they came out. I might actually do one about not Dragon Link or not Infernobles, because we all know what those decks do, but we might do one about Monarchs, because Monarchs being at full power and actually really showing its stuff in the current format really is really good. We're going to see Tenacity fire down, revealing Mega Thestalos, which is one of my all-time favorite Monarchs. I like Thestalos. He's going to grab the Prime Monarch. So, no, he's not going to grab the Prime Monarch. He's contemplating his hand. I think I remember watching this game and I saw his hand. I think he needs to go for the Prime Monarch. I think if he gets anything else, it's not going to be as impactful. The Prime Monarch is going to allow him to get an additional draw, I believe. But he's contemplating his choices because Monarchs are kind of one of those decks where your first turn has to do something with either Erupt or Domain. Otherwise, you're kind of sitting kind of bad. You got to hope that then you have a either in your hand to be able to fire off during the opponent's turn to hopefully disrupt them with Kuraz. But it's, you know, it is what it is. But he's going to grab Pantheism, which is really good. He's going to go ahead and banish. He's taking a big chance here. I wouldn't say a big chance. He's going to, you know, that's one thing about Pantheism that's busted is the draw is not once per turn, but the banishing is. He's going to reveal 2 Prime Monarchs and I think a Monarch's Erupt. No, a Domain it looks like. Yep, reveals Domain. And the opponent probably does not want him to have Domain, so of course he's going to give him the Trap. He's just kind of playing with the opponent's mind in that scenario, which is really smart in a way. That's what made Domain so... Not Domain, but that's what made Pantheism so problematic. But we're going to see another Pantheism fire off. Dino player reading to make sure that that Pantheism is not a hard once per turn, and it is not a hard once per turn. It's going to be able to shoot off again, draw him 2 fresh cards, while getting that Prime Monarch to the graveyard, which is super important for the deck's strategy. That Prime Monarch is almost just as problematic as the rest of the deck, but we're going to see him banishing Tenacity to summon out the Prime Monarch, and then we're going to see a normal summon of, by George, he did it again. He opened a Vanity's Fiend, and we're going to see a set, another set, and we're just going to pass it over to the Dino player. So this is actually quite rough for the Dino player. Hopefully he was able to see, but we're going to see a fire off of Summon Limit. So on top of that, on top of the Vanity's Fiend, we're going to see a Summon Limit, limiting him on his type of normal summons. I see the theory behind that because you don't know if you're going to be able to get to the Vanity's Fiend, so you want to have some sort of summon interruption, and coincidentally he saw both of them, which is extremely strong because he's now only going to get a normal summon, but he's just going to choose to set and pass. Not looking good for Dinos. What was that Team Samurai X said? Dino's best deck. Looks like Dinos are getting thrashed here, losing to Vanity's Monarch because let's be... What's he got there? So he's going to banish the Pantheism again to practically get whatever it is that he wants, which is straight busted, guys. Like, if you don't draw what you want, you can get what you want. That's something... I used to play this deck back in the day. I enjoyed the artwork. Idea is one of my all-time favorite cards, like to normal summon. But we're going to see a touchdown of... Is that Return of the True Monarchs? That's the road of the deck. Tenacity. And... what else are we going to see? Maybe another... The glare's hitting there. But we're going to see him get Return of the True Monarchs. It kind of doesn't matter. 2 Tenacities and a Return. It's kind of foolish to give him Tenacity because Tenacity just allows them to deck thin. So you might as well sometimes just give them what they want so they have a more chance to brick. Because as consistent as Monarchs are, they do brick at times. But we're going to see the banishing of Stormforth to summon out the Prime Monarch. That's 1 summon. Because Summon Limit affects both players. We're going to see Stormforth. He's going to attribute both the set card and the Prime to summon out Thestalos. Thestalos is going to rip that Dogoron from the hand. Not that it could hurt him because of anything, but he's one of that burn damage. Give him the burn. And you know the saying, that's time in the round, and technically the Monarch player would win right there. But coincidentally, it's not time in the round, but in the scenario, that's why I enjoyed Thestalos. Hand advantage is just so important, and Thestalos getting to look at the hand, burn, and rip is just so good. It's so good for the deck. But now we're going to see a set where it looks like we still have a Stormforth in the hand, which is extremely good. So we're staring down Thestalos and Vanity's Fiend. I think 28, 24, and another 28 would be game. So he's on the Dino player's on a time clock. He only has technically 1 more turn if he cannot out Summon Limit or Domain or the Vanity's Fiend. We're going to see a draw for turn. Can the Dino player do it? Can he just do it? Dino player thinking about his life choices. Contemplating if he should have probably came to locals today. Actually, funny story. The Dino player and the Monarchs played 1 more time in the thing. There I am trying to record something for a video that I may or may not put up just because of everything. there's a Camino of me in the video, fun story. But anyway, the Dino player actually played the Monarch player earlier in the tournament and ended up beating him 2-0 Swift. So this is kind of a retribution for the Monarch player in the finals, getting what he needs to do. I think the Monarch player ends up going to all the way up to, I think I said in the beginning of the second place, his final match is against Dogmatica Invoke, and he sadly loses that match, but ends up taking second. But with the writing on the wall here, I do not see how the Dino player is going to be able to out this. By even normal sum of the Oviraptor, he's going to take less damage, but it's still, I think, if I remember the days from all Monarchs, 2 28s and a 24 is lethal, so he's already taken a 24 and a 28. That means that he's probably going to eat, and not to mention that domain boost attack too. Oh my goodness, I just forgot about that as well. The poor Dino player is about to go extinct, man. Extinct. I think it's quite ironic he's playing on Team Sandmax, playing Dinos, and Dinos are about to get swapped. And here at Team COG, we just make up words, you know, swapped is a term for slapped and swamped. So he's gonna get swapped. That's very interesting. But anyway, Lithium ended up taking this deck to the Remote Duel Invitational over in Europe and ended up getting second place as well. So in the hands of a good pilot, the deck can do phenomenal. Prime's going to be flipped over, shuffling back probably a Stormforth and a Prime. Now, coincidentally, he could chain here. He could shuffle back, and he could chain the Prime, and the Prime would summon, shuffling back the Stormforth, and still get a draw. But he's opting not to. He's going to just get that pluses. And this card was so important in the grind game back in the day because of the Monarch mirror matches were pretty grindy. So Prime just getting him an extra card. He just needs to be able to put on an additional body for damage. Coincidentally, if he drew any Monarch, he really can because he's holding a Stormforth. But he's going to tribute the Stalos for Karaz. I don't think that was correct, to be honest with you. I think that he should have... So he's pitching Miscellaneous Source. I think that he should have just used Stormforth and tributed the Oviraptor because that would have been game regardless. But it is what it is. I digress. I'm gonna get some fresh cards. Miscellaneous Soar, protecting it. Vanity's Fiend just smacking into it. So I guess I was wrong. He's only got one more turn left, and he's looking at his hand. The Dino player draws for another Miscellaneous Soar, and I believe he sees the writing on the wall. And there's really not much more he can do except for maybe T-set and pass. Hoping to draw into a side deck, but it's not coming for the Dino player, it seems, which is a little upsetting. But it like you know, it's kind of like what it is. Like Monarchs are really good at what they do, you know. Domain plus Vanities. This is what made them so good back in the day. So Dino player just facing certain extinction that way. So we're going to see a normal summon of Giant Rex. Is Giant Rex able to get big enough? I'm not too sure. But we're going to see a draw, and it looks like to me that this might be the end for the Dino player. We're going to see Rhoda fire off, which is going to get him a Dia, and the Dino player looking at his hand, seeing if he even stands a chance, looking at his next card, and I think that is going to wrap it up, guys. Monarch taking the win, 2-1. Remember, guys, to like, comment, and subscribe for future videos. This is Charles from Team COG, signing out.